Sorry, I had to do this in my daughter's bedroom because there's too much activity going on in my house.
It's all right.
I'll show you something funny here in a second, but I'm trying to flip between screens here, and we got
I hope you show me your catitude poster that's behind you to your left.
that's what I was gonna show you. Did it already come up on the screen?
It did earlier.
Damn it! All right, so Coach, do you want to just kind of introduce yourself for the folks of Middletown?
Sure, absolutely. Thanks, first off, for having me on here tonight. It's a pleasure to meet you. I know we've been emailing back and forth. It's nice to sit here and put a face to a name. Even though it's via Zoom, it's 2021, and we've all had to adjust a little bit. But it's certainly an honor and a pleasure to be here. Again, my name is Scott Acri. Recently hired as a head football coach at Middletown High School. Couldn't be more excited to get started. And obviously, here we're about a month in. The kids have been working really hard. It's a really exciting time right now. And just trying to build that relationship, get our numbers up, get into the building, get our signups up, and really start to, focus on, August, really, because it's going to come before we know it. But, a little bit about myself, my background, as some of you may know, coming from Susquehanna High School, where I've been the head football coach and the athletic director for the previous 6 seasons. Prior to that, I spent some time coaching at Millersville University in the PSAC, coached tight ends, offensive tackles there for 2 years. Spent some time at Redland High School, where I was, coaching under Frank Gay and Chad Weaver. That's also where I went, played under Frank Gay. So he had the opportunity to bring me back on his staff, get my start coaching there, and then also spent a little bit of time as an undergrad at Westchester. So again, local kid, local guy, played in the mid-pen, played against Middletown growing up in many, many games, and then had the opportunity to coach college ball a little bit and then came back as a high school head coach. And here we are, very fortunate to be hired at Middletown.
So back in your playing days, and what year did you graduate, Redland?
I graduated from Redland in 2009.
Okay. So back in your playing days, what was the reputation of Middletown back then?
Well, I think it was one of those games where you better be ready to play. Middletown was always extremely tough. They traveled really well. Their fans were, some of the best fans in the league. And sometimes as an opponent, we didn't always like the Middletown faithful because they were so passionate. They have tons of energy and they'll let you know about it too. And it was just a team that you knew you were going to get their best night in and night out. They were going to be extremely physical. They were going to be a team that you better be prepared because you knew it was going to be a dogfight.
And anything different with that, from Susquehanna or coming into the district and the town now?
I think the draw of obviously the recent success Coach Myers has built at the program was certainly, attractive. It's no secret that, the recent success the program has had was, well known, especially in District 3 in the mid-pen. But again, it just, it affirms everything that I've always thought growing up, and that I even, as a head coach in the area, knowing Middletown football and the roots run deep. And I was just so excited to kind of be a part of that. The Middletown faithful have been extremely welcoming to me. They've treated me like family. They brought me in right away. I can't wait. I can't wait to get full crowds back at War Memorial. It's a special place to play, and I just can't wait to be in front of our fans and be on their side, of the crowds and the atmosphere and the energy. Something I'm really looking forward to.
Well, I'm happy to hear they've welcomed you in. I know firsthand it can be rough, so I'm glad to hear that. All right, let's talk a little bit about your coaching philosophy and your style of play. Let's start with offense and defense. What kind of offense and defense do you plan on running at Middletown?
Sure. With the risk of not getting too in depth, as as a coach, I try to keep everything tight knit and close. But we're going to be up tempo. We're going to be spread multiple. We're going to be good balance of run and pass, but we really want to try to, incorporate some of our screen games, power run game, zone run game, to be able to open up some deep shots. Obviously we have some really talented skill players coming back. Love to use the quarterback in the run game as well offensively. So it's just using our weapons, putting guys in space to make plays. We have a ton of guys that are going to touch the ball on Friday nights, and it's just, giving, a lot of motions and putting them in positions and, trying to be multiple in different things to, keep the defense guessing, night in and night out.
Okay, and what kind of culture or philosophy are you trying to bring into the district, into the football team?
Sure. I mean, we talk often, every day almost with the guys is that, we've kind of adopted the slogan, answer the bell. If you know a boxing ring, a boxing match, it starts with a bell at the beginning of the match. And you got to be able to answer that bell and be ready to fight and be ready to compete. We say often, a John Gordon quote, that champions become champions, in everything they do long before they become champions. So we got to act like that in everything that we do, workouts in school, in the community, as young men, just trying to create a culture that these kids want to be hungry, they want to succeed, and they clearly have. I mean, the success there is, again, it's second to none. So when you come in and you walk into a program where kids are hungry to succeed, makes your job a little bit easier as a coach. But it's just tying some loose ends, building the rapport with the kids, trying to preach family and get a staff together and build the trust and the respect between both parties, in order to be successful, because it's not easy learning a new system. A lot of these kids, especially some of these, a senior heavy group that has been in a system for many, many years. When you have a new staff coming in on both sides of the ball, it can be difficult. It can be challenging. It can be a little bit frustrating too. So it's, just putting them in positions to be successful and confident, to be able to let kids be themselves and play fast and, play with a little bit of swagger and a little bit of juice and a little bit of energy to, be successful, in everything they do on both sides of the ball.
Okay, and you mentioned coaches. Let's talk coaching staff. Or do you have people you're bringing in?
Yeah, so that was obviously very important to me, was to make sure, obviously, a couple of the things I just said, if I'm going to preach philosophy and I'm going to preach family and I'm going to preach love and I'm going to preach, energy and excitement, I better surround our kids with great coaches, and great men, first and foremost. So I really took my time and, you know, made sure that I was talking to a lot of different people in the community and local communities and the football coaching realm of things to put a staff together. Was fortunate to get Coach Aaron Blanding, was head coach at CD East High School for 7 or 8 years. He's able to come over and be my assistant head coach and defensive coordinator. Obviously my father, who has coached with me since I've been a head coach at Susquehanna, tremendous man. Again, he helps wonderful with the scout team, coaches the receivers, will help with the JV. So he came with me from Susquehanna, was able to retain, Rob Brodish, who obviously played at Middletown, as a teacher in the building. He's going to be coaching running backs, defensive end, special teams, and he's been a tremendous asset in, bridging that gap between, the former staff and our staff to try to help the lingo and the terminology. Offensive coordinator Spencer Gay. Obviously, I mentioned Frank Gay earlier as a mentor of mine. The current head coach at Redland, his son is one of my best friends. An incredible offensive mind. He'll be our offensive coordinator coming on board. I'm really excited to see what he can do. He just has a knack for working like crazy and preparing the right way, and just an incredible offensive mind. So getting him on board was a huge get for us. Another young guy, Mike Osai, who played at Middletown as well. He was kind of the guy that was keeping things afloat in the weight room, with Coach Brodish, his program. He's obviously running the strength program right now, but Coach Brodish was coaching track. So when I got hired, Coach Mike was the guy that was in the weight room with those kids every single day. And from the moment that I stepped on campus, he was willing to, do anything that I asked him to do, and was willing to help and was willing to grind and willing to, do all the little things that you look for, in a coaching staff. Obviously, there's some other positions that we could, have to tie some loose ends. Retaining Adam Schaefer at the freshman level to be the head freshman coach. Bringing in Augie Taliani is another guy that's been, in the local area, has been at Trinity, been at Carlisle. He's going to come and coach freshmen as well. And I just think having guys at all levels that you trust, that can, incorporate your system, incorporate your beliefs, that align closely with your philosophy, is going to, obviously lead to success at all levels. But it was another young coach who, reached out to me, with desire to coach. Jaquil Adams was a phenomenal athlete at Bishop McDevitt, was a receiver, DB, track athlete. Is coming on board and has been great, with teaching technique and, helping the young kids, helping them develop, obviously playing at a high level at Division II at Shippensburg. And just an incredible athlete. So a lot of things that I can't demonstrate physically, I just let him do it because he's young and can run a little bit and can jump and, can certainly show the kids, exactly what needs to be done from a technique standpoint. So he's just a stickler for, the little things, and he's going to be a great addition to our staff as well.
So will you be working in the district?
Yes, sir, I will. When I went through the interview process, obviously, it was no secret that in order for me to, take the next step in my, my personal life and my coaching life, I would need to, tie in the professional piece of it as well. So coming to Middletown, I was, obviously I have a PA teaching certificate. So it was my goal to, teach in the district. I'm not, haven't been, shared my exact specific position yet. But I will be coaching and teaching in the district, obviously there, just a position to be determined.
And what would you like Middletown fans to know about you, or expectations you have, or expectations they should or could have for you coming to town?
Sure. I think, first and foremost, I tell the kids all the time, I came here to win football games. There's no shying away from that. You as a competitor, you want to come in and compete. But I think what you can guarantee from our staff is that, we're going to work like crazy to prepare our kids to be successful. We're going to compete every Friday night. And sometimes we may fall short. As everybody knows, sometimes, there's teams that are just better. Things happen. Things don't go your way. Adversity is going to hit. And, I can just, assure the Middletown faithful that we're going to compete like crazy. We're going to put our kids in the best position. We're going to play extremely hard. We're going to be, a great young man in the community. I just want them to know that they're getting a coaching staff that's extremely dedicated from a preparation standpoint. We care about kids. The kids are first and foremost. And winning will take care of itself. The little things on Friday night will take care of, themselves, and we can take care of the things off the field from a grade standpoint, a personality standpoint, a behavior standpoint, and molding young men. Obviously that's our goal, and to, transform them to be successful long after they're done playing as a Blue Raider, and as brothers and siblings and sons, and, future fathers and husbands. And, that's obviously got to be our goal. And when you can take care of those things, and can get a buy-in factor and preach family and love, then you're going to be successful on Friday nights as well.
And you talked about this a little bit before. I'm just kind of curious, and I know this wasn't a question I asked in writing, but how did your first meeting go with the kids?
Yeah, it was, I think there were some nerves on both sides. I mean, again, it's not easy. You're coming into a situation, with a team that's been very, very successful, and you walk into a room, you have a lot of eyes on you, and waiting for you to, sell yourself and sell your program. And I think what I try to do is sit down there and tell them that I believe in them and I care about them and I'm going to be there for them and defend them. And we've tried to build that relationship day in and day out since I've been there every day since. Again, I don't expect them to be able to jump through hoops right away, but if we could continue to build the foundation of a solid program and know that we're going to have each other's backs, and we're going to fight for each other, and defend each other, and have a mutual respect, and know that I will be there for them, day in and day out, not just in football. And I think they could feel that from me from the moment that I walked in, is just trying to pour belief into, that we're here to be successful. We're here to win football games. We're here to build build off the foundation that Coach Myers built, and to continue to succeed. And we have no plans to, take any steps backwards, and to continue to, put our eyes forward, our next step forward, and focus on the guys that are currently in our room. We can't worry about last year. We can't worry about years past. We can't look at records, but we got to focus on the guys that are in our locker room currently, and just keep plugging away, and chop wood, carry water, just continue to work, continue to grind day in and day out, until it's time to play ball.
And how has the off season gone, and what kinds of things have you been able to do with the players?
Yeah, really good. I mean, we're lifting right now, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday after school. We've had about, 14 to 16 guys in there on a daily basis. Obviously there's a lot of kids playing baseball, they're running track. So, we have a little bit of a mixed group there. And again, COVID situations don't help a lot. Trying to get signups out, the kids are on, alternate split schedules. So going back to your comment about the meeting, we had a meeting, but yet some people, weren't sure about the meeting. They weren't in school that day, because half the kids were in school, half the kids were out. So it's still fighting, a little bit of that battle. But we've also been going, having Wednesday morning 6 a.m. workouts where we come in, we do agilities, do some conditioning, do some stretching, do some offense, defensive stuff. We were actually in this morning. We were outside. It was a beautiful day. So we were outside today, doing some offensive install a little bit. You know, and then we have our full team workouts on Sunday evening. We can get our whole staff there, our whole team, you know, and start to install, you know, our schemes, both offensively and defensively. So that certainly helps. So we, you know, we're giving the opportunities for them, you know, 5 days a week, and, you know, not just lifting or not just running, but, you know, a little bit of everything, so they can, you know, get themselves comfortable. And, you know, they were behind the ball a little bit. I know they were itching to get started. You know, they're having, you know, no head coach for a couple of weeks and going through the interview process and, you know, wondering who it was going to be. You know, some guys might have taken a couple of days off, couple of weeks off, wondering what's going on, where they need to be. So we've kind of hit the ball rolling here, and it seems to be the snowball keeps getting larger as it rolls downhill, because more and more people are showing up, and, you know, the kids have been talking, they've been recruiting their friends, and, you know, talking about what we're trying to do and what we're trying to build. So it gets better week by week.
And you did answer this before, but I'll kind of ask it a little differently. Are there any other people besides the people you've mentioned already that have influenced you as a coach, a player, or a person?
Yeah, I mean, again, I would be remiss if I didn't talk about my father. You know, he's been my best friend. He's been a guy that I've looked up to my whole life. It's very special to me to, you know, when I go out there on Friday nights, you know, for him to be beside me. And I know he will. They say, you know, the greatest gift that a father could give a son is that he believed in me. You know, and you know, being a 24-year-old head coach at Susquehanna 7 years ago wasn't easy. You know, and he kind of defended me and was there for me, and, you know, every step of the way. And that's why when, you know, we took the next step together to come to Middletown, I know he's going to be there as well. But then, you know, I need to talk about, you know, Coach Gay. You know, again, another guy that's believed in me. You know, to see a former player of his become a head coach, it kind of makes me proud as well. I have a goal. You know, there was a goal of mine a couple of years back when he won a district title. We won a district title. I won one as a player and as a playing for him at Redland. He won one at Camp Hill, and I remember taking a picture with him after he won. And I said, Coach, someday I'm going to be a head coach, and, you know, I'm going to win a district title, and you're going to be taking a picture with me. You know, so that's a goal of mine, you know, someday to, you know, return that favor to him. You know, but my coaching, you know, tree runs deep. You know, guys like Tom Pfeiffer, Chad Weaver, you know, David Payne, Greg Breitbach at Millersville, Matt Suchak, you know, guys that have influenced me as a coach, you know, and taught me a lot, you know, about the game, and, you know, believed in me to get, you know, where I was today. And then, you know, being able to coach now, on my staff with, again, you know, one of my best friends, one of my former teammates in Spencer, and, you know, guys that I've built relationships with over the year. It just, you know, it makes it that much more special.
Coach, can you talk a little bit about your family?
Yeah, sure. You know, ever since I, you know, was a player, you know, and then becoming a coach, my family's been extremely important to me. As you've heard me say multiple times, I preach family in our program, you know, just because it runs so deep, you know, in my personal life as well. You know, obviously, you know, mentioning my dad as a coach, but, you know, my brother, who, again, is, you know, one of my biggest fans, and has always been there through me, and a lot of tough Friday nights. He's been there to pick me up. So, you know, he's a basketball coach, just a coach's mind as well. So he's one to, you know, pick me up when things get tough. My mom has been at every game. We have a tradition, and when I walk out to the games, you know, she's standing along the fence to get a hug. Both my grandparents, you know, on both sides of my family have been there and been extremely supportive of me. They haven't missed a game, you know, and then, you know, obviously, you know, the reason why I do what I do, and, you know, it's not easy being a football coach's wife. You know, my wife is the rock of, you know, this coaching experience. And, you know, Janelle has been there, you know, through everything, through the good, bad, ugly, and everything in between. You know, she has to get the brunt of it, you know, whether we win, lose, or, you know, anything in between. And from a preparation standpoint, you know, she becomes a football widow, you know, summertime, the whole way to really the holidays. So, you know, I just thank her for, you know, for loving me and supporting me, and, you know, enjoying this journey as, you know, as much as I have, because I know she's looking forward to, you know, I got her a t-shirt the other day, a Middletown t-shirt, and she was so excited. You know, it's a dream come true for both of us. And, you know, I know she's looking forward to, you know, sitting in the stands and, you know, getting to know the people as well, and, you know, becoming a part of this journey as well. So just need to thank them. They're my support system. I wouldn't be able to do that without them. Love them to death. And, you know, I know they're just as excited to, you know, jump on this journey with me as well, to, you know, rep the Block M, and, you know, be part of the Middletown faithful.
You mind me asking if your wife is also a Redland grad?
She's not, actually. She's part of our rival. She's a Cedar Cliff grad. You know, so we joke about that a little bit. She's, you know, obviously, you know, she was a Division I athlete, ran at Penn State, you know, so again, she got the athleticism in the relationship. But she was a teacher at Susquehanna. We met here, and she's kind of been with me every step of the way since.
Was your father a Redland grad?
He was, yes, 1984. Yep.
I think I saw some pictures and some articles of him.
Yep, absolutely. Yes, he was. And my uncle. So, yep.
All right. So, Coach, I have some kind of fun questions I'll ask you here. This is more for people to kind of get to know you a little bit. And like I said, we can have some fun with it.
Sure, absolutely.
These next couple questions are all about what is your favorite?
Okay.
What is your favorite food?
Favorite food? I'm gonna have to go with tacos. Love tacos. Mexican food, Mexican rice, Mexican tacos, nachos. It's got to be my favorite.
Hard shell or soft shell?
Hard shell. Definitely hard shell.
Do you have a favorite snack?
Favorite snack is probably barbecue chips
Any
or
particular-
Skittles. Or Skittles. I know candy's not really a snack, but usually I try to, when I need to go to something at a gas station or I'm traveling or something, I usually try to grab, a pack of Skittles for the road. So,
Any particular kind of barbecue chips?
probably Middlesworth. They got the Weekender bag, and they're kind of a staple locally. So those are our go-to at home.
The Weekender bag that doesn't make it through the weekend.
Yep, absolutely.
Favorite drink?
Dr. Pepper.
Favorite TV show?
Favorite TV show?
Past or present?
Favorite TV show? I'm going to have to go with. See, I knew you were going to stump me on some of these if I wasn't able to prepare for them. See, most people would say like something sports related or something like that, but I gotta give my wife a shout out because we watch a lot of shows on TV. So probably right now it would be probably This Is Us. I know it's just a good family show that her and I watch together. It's something that we get to sit down and watch. We don't get to watch many shows together, so the one we do, I'll say that's my favorite.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite movie?
Favorite movie is The Replacements, and if my dad watches this interview, it's the old saying, "If you know, you know." Funny football movie, just something that we've kind of watched for many years, and every time it's on, we can't turn it off.
Favorite singers, bands, or musicians?
Favorite singers, bands, musician. Chris Tomlin. Obviously, I'm a man of faith. Deep, rooted in my Christian beliefs. So religious music obviously helps me a lot. And Chris Tomlin has been, one of my favorite artists. Would love to see him live someday. Would love to go to Red Rocks in Colorado, and see one of his concerts. But obviously, I love rap too. I love the new age hip hop stuff. The kids love Drake, and I try to catch on to the newest waves and, do all that other stuff. But I'm not a huge music guy where it's been, a huge part of my life. I don't know lyrics to many songs or anything like that. I kind of just listen to what's on. My wife got me into country. We're big Kenny Chesney fans. So a little bit of mix of everything, kind of just what's hot and what I like. And, if it's before a game, you got to, switch it up a little bit. But if we're, sitting at the beach or driving in a car, sometimes you got to, you can't be listening to the hardcore rap. So.
Well, since you said that, favorite place to go on vacation?
Ocean City, Maryland. That's kind of been our spot, but also, we rebuilt an old camper. So my family likes to camp. My wife and I like to camp. We have a puppy as well. So we redid this old, beat down camper that we found and regutted it and painted it and rebuilt all the inside to, make it kind of a, refurbished build. So we try to go camping. We like to go to the lake, anywhere there's water, you'll find us.
Favorite holiday?
Christmas.
All right, this isn't so funny because you're kind of a young guy, but let's see how you answer this. What was your first car and when?
My first car. It is kind of funny though, because if any of my friends are watching this, they're gonna laugh. I had a Hyundai Elantra. It looked like a little go-kart, and they called it the Scoot. And obviously, my name's Scott. So they said I had this Scoot-looking car. that could barely fit anybody in it. But I was always the one that drove all my friends around in it. So we would pack, 5, 6, 7 people in this little car and roll to practices and, go places on Friday night and pack as many as we can in this little car. Didn't even have, electric windows, but, very fortunate. My parents, bought me a new car and was there, when I was 16. We had a lot of memories in that little skate. So.
Did you ever get out of a ticket or anything similar because you were a head coach or something like that?
So yeah, at Susquehanna, I was driving home one night and not really related to, Susquehanna per se. But I got a ticket on 11 and 15, which seems to be a hot spot for, cops to sit sometimes. Was pretty late at night and I got pulled over, and here it was, just a high school friend of mine, who was a cop, and, he kind of came up to me and was real serious and realized it was me. And we kind of laughed a little bit, and, he just told me to be careful and let me on my way. But, it's really the only time I ever got pulled over, thank goodness. So I don't want to jinx myself, but hopefully I don't have to get out of another one.
Okay. I like these next ones coming your way. Get ready.
Okay.
How do you feel about pineapple on pizza?
Impartial. I'm a plain cheese pizza guy. I don't need pepperonis. I don't need meat. I don't need vegetables. I don't need anything like that. Just give me extra cheese and I'm good with my pizza. I mean, it's okay, and not a huge fan, but people that like it, to each his own, but not on my pizza.
Have you had it before?
I have, yes.
Okay. All right. So a roll of toilet paper, when you put it on the thing, does it have to go over or under?
It's got to go over. Got to go over.
What is the name of the thing you put it on?
Toilet paper
Holder?
Holder, yeah. Toilet paper roll holder.
What's the strangest thing you ever saw a player do? Now, you coach college, so I'm sure you have seen some crazy, weird, strange stuff.
Yeah, unfortunately, the strangest things in it, you can't really talk about, but
Right.
you try to close your eyes and laugh and look the other way. But I think the strangest thing I'll say is I remember, in college it kind of started, but then it leaked into even when I played, and then it kind of got a little more popular even the last couple of years, is like Gold Bond powder. These kids use Gold Bond powder like it's candy. I mean, they put it all over their pads, they put it all over their shoes, they put it all over their body, anywhere you can think of. Sometimes you walk through a locker room and you see white powder all over the floor because, they're chafing and, they need this Gold Bond powder to keep from rubbing in their shoulder pads and, everything else. And it just like, sometimes like you can't even, you almost taste the powder when you walk into the locker room. That was always just, strange to me how much these kids, relied on Gold Bond powder in the last couple of years.
All right. This one's definitely putting you on the spot. Who would win in a street fight, your hometown or Middletown?
Middletown, definitely.
Smart answer.
They're blue collar people. You know what I mean? They're just extremely tough, and they're going to let you know about it too. Again, that's why I just can't wait to be a part of it. And I feel like I've already become a part of it. The kids tell me it's Middletown versus everybody, and I'm a Middletown guy now, so we're going to have that approach. Have a little bit of our chip on our shoulder, do things the right way. But we're going to be ready to compete against anybody that steps in front of us.
What are some things that you physically do when you're angry?
Oh man, things that I physically do when I'm angry.
Maybe your face or like tensing up or something like that.
Yeah, I wish some of my former players were here to answer this question because they kind of laugh about it. But I like, I say let's go a lot, like in like an angry voice. You know what I mean? Like I'm not I don't swear, I don't do all that stuff. I don't, I just kind of tend to get over animated. Sometimes I like to stomp around a little bit. Sometimes if I have a paper in my hand, I'll rip it, like I'll pull it like I'm gonna rip it. Sometimes if I have like a towel or something or a shirt, I'll put it in my mouth and kind of chew on it and, yell into my shirt or yell into my towel. Or if I have a hat, I'll just, kind of just let out like a weird, not a scream, but like a grunt or a yell just to try to get it out. And, just kind of try to get somebody going a little bit, get it out, and then move forward.
All right, we're almost done here. Hang in there.
Absolutely. Yep. I'm enjoying this. It's a lot of fun.
All right. Did you ever cry because of a movie? And if so, what movie?
Well, again, I'm putting myself out, to be susceptible to some things here in this interview. But recently, it's been a year now. He's just a year old. My wife and I got a puppy. We have an American Bulldog named Murphy. And it's the first dog we've owned. I've had dogs growing up and stuff like that. But when you own a dog, it truly becomes your best friend. I mean, he's been an incredible blessing to our lives. So we decided to watch A Dog's Purpose. And when you watch, a dog go through a life and it passes away, it makes you think, and we have a young dog, but I just can't imagine, my life without him right now. And as he gets older, I know, obviously, that day will come, but, that's the first movie that when I was sitting there watching, tears started rolling down my eyes because, of the relationship I have with our pup.
See that?
Oh, yeah.
And the guys on my left don't really like that answer. See how that worked out perfectly there?
Yep, absolutely.
This one makes me laugh. What is the worst or cheapest gift you ever got somebody?
Worst or cheapest gift I ever got somebody. Okay, perfect answer for this one. So, and there's a story to it, and then I'll explain why. So, a couple of years ago, I don't even know how, 2 or 3 years ago, obviously, if you know anything about, retro Jordan sneakers, there was a pair of 11 Concords that came out, and I waited in line, went through a drawing, got a pair of Jordan Concord 11s for my brother for Christmas. I knew he wanted them, and I was like, I can't afford them. You know what I mean? Like I told him all this time I couldn't afford them, not getting them, can't get them. So for Christmas, I went to Kmart and found a pair of white shoes, and I Sharpied a Jordan signal on it, like, and kind of drew them like they were the Concords, and opened them up and said, dude, I'm sorry, I just couldn't afford them. And he opened them, and we were laughing like crazy and all this other stuff. And then later that night, I gave him the actual shoes. And he hasn't worn them since. He keeps them in a box in his room. He lives in Boston, but it was just such a funny gift to be able to give him that. I try to do that every year, is give a gag gift to a family member that makes them laugh, and then, try to give something that means a lot to them.
What is an eating habit that you do that others might find strange or maybe even disgusting?
Not an eating habit, but a drinking habit is I drink way too much soda. I don't drink coffee. So again, I talked about Dr. Pepper, and I was very fortunate over the last, 12 to 15 months, to work out and train with my wife for a half marathon that we were going to run that got canceled because of COVID. So I actually gave up regular soda, but I drink a ton of diet soda. It's just kind of my, unhealthy obsession that, instead of drinking coffee in the morning at 6:30 a.m., I'll grab a diet soda. Before a game, I'll grab some type of soda or something to kind of, calm my nerves a little bit. If I have a headache, I grab a soda. Everybody kind of has their little niches or coffee or drinks that they like or food. And, my eating, whatever you want to call it, is definitely drinking a soda.
What is the funniest joke you know by heart?
So there's a running joke for many years of people that know me, and if they're watching this, I know they'll laugh about it. I'm just the king of the Joe Mama jokes. You know what I mean? Like, hey, do you know Joe? It's not a real funny joke anymore, but it's just funny when you get somebody that doesn't know. I don't care how many times you get somebody or you do it, or how many times you do it. When you finally find somebody that doesn't know what you're doing, it's the funniest thing in the world. And it's even funny too when people go, yeah, we get it, Joe Mama, and then they start laughing about it anyway. It's just, funny stories that you can share.
All right. Well, Coach Acri, those are pretty much all the questions I have. Before you go, though, I just wanted to say a few things. You're going to be the 26th coach in Middletown football history. And one of those years we had 2 coaches sharing head coaching duties way back in the 1920s. So 26th coach in Middletown football history. Like you mentioned, you're coming into a situation where the coach before you was very successful. you know, there's high expectations, a lot of success coming before you even step foot into the building or onto the field. I just wanted to personally wish you the best of luck, and welcome you to Middletown. Ironically, I'm in Georgia, but you know, I still feel part of the Middletown community. There are people like me outside of Middletown that still follow, keep up with it, and also wish you the most, you know, all the success in the world. Um, I hope the Blue Raider fans welcome you, like you said. I hope they're nice to you. Um, don't take anything personal if they do, like, or you know, they will at some point, believe me, and it sounds like you know it. But I just really want you to feel welcome. It's my hometown, so I kind of take that personally. I hope they welcome you and you feel a part of that community and part of that family. And like I said, wish you all the success in the world.
For sure. Thank you. I appreciate it more than you could imagine.